Welcome to episode 12 of All for Geek. Kyle's back! And now I'm going to block him. No.
Play with buttons, we don't care.
So we got a lot of ratings, Kyle. We got a lot of views in the last 2 days about our Apple predictions thing.
I am the CM Punk to your TV show.
Yet you dropped a bomb instead of a ball.
That's what I do.
Today on the show, along with Kyle, who is from what website?
That would be thetechnofiles.com. You can follow me at Kyle Leishear and at the Technophiles. I have other ones later on.
And you have me from AllForGeek.com. Don't forget that. That's why you're here.
Right here.
And today on the show, we're going to review the Apple event. We're going to hopefully snowball those ratings, get those views hitting. And if you have any friends out there who love Apple, who loves the Phil, who love Kyle Leishear,
and who loves thetechnofiles.com.
tell them about the show. Now, let's get into it, Kyle. That's what they want to see. What happened at the Apple event? Well, let's go into the first thing, okay?
Well, hang on. Before we do that, here's what happened at the Apple event for me. Huh? What? iPad 2? Oh, it's the new iPad? Okay. That was the Apple event for me.
So basically, the iPad 2S. But
No. The new iPad. New iPad. Not iPad 2S. Not iPad 3.
We'll get into that.
New iPad.
The first thing they announced was the Apple TV.
You were right on that one.
It's basically a small refresh of the Apple TV, the little set-top box, and it now plays 1080p and has a new interface.
So from that alone, I knew that the Apple event was going to be crap.
Well, I just thought they were getting it out of the way. I thought, like, okay, this is a small little thing that we have to announce. We know it's not going to get much play, but put it out there for those Apple TV fans. It's not the iTV yet, but you know, here's an Apple TV for you to enjoy while you're waiting for the iTV.
Yeah. So when you got the Apple TV and you saw the set-top box and you went, I know that. That looks the same as the other Apple TV. Okay, maybe they got something for the iPad here. Maybe they got something a little bit different. No.
Well, so that was the thing. Like, I thought they were announcing that, but then they would come out with the iTV later on in the show. But they went on to the iPad. They talked about how good it's doing, how well it's doing. But then all that was announced for it was that it was a pretty much a upgrade.
Not more of an upgrade, more of a side grade. Like, hey, look, we just added these couple of things, and it's the same thing as iPad 2, but now it's the new iPad.
Yeah, it's
iPad 2? Oh, no. New iPad.
For those who don't know, the new iPad, which is a weird name, honestly, they just didn't want to say it was the iPad 2S. It's got an amazing screen. It's more than 1080p.
Yeah, I was right. I called the Retina display. I called it.
So you got 2048 by 1536 Retina display, which is going to be clear as hell. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I give them that. Like they do a great job when it comes to displays. With the iPhone 4S, the Retina display on that one. Now the Retina display on the iPad, the new iPad. Again, it's going to look fantastic, and everything will benefit from it. But it's still something that should have been put in the iPad 2.
Yeah, and well, that's the same thing for the iPhone 4. But let's go on. Dual-core Apple A5X chip, which is a dual-core chip, but does quad-core graphics.
Explain that one. Go ahead.
I really can't.
I can only imagine. I'm only imagining a guy in Cupertino going, all right, we got a dual core, but we speed it up and we just call it quad core. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
No. Don't read that.
It equals quad core in some way.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's for really geeky people out there. It's got kind of The Vita has the same chip, but plus a little extra, but has 4 cores instead of 2. So iPad is getting up there towards the Vita, but the Vita still has more power.
Good.
It kind of has to. What else? 5 megapixel camera with autofocus.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, but who's going to use their iPad? Like, I have an iPad too.
Hey, Phil, I have to take a photo of my iPad. Stay still.
Exactly.
There's no shutter button, so hang on. Oh crap! It's all fuzzy. Wait a minute. I can fix it up with the iPhoto.
It's true. I thought I would be doing the same thing, but first of all, not enough people bring this thing around. You're not going to bring a 10-inch iPad around and go like this. It just doesn't happen. So it's cool, but the thing that they didn't focus on for iPad users is the front camera. It's the front camera that needs upgrading.
Oh God, so bad.
If I want to take a quick picture, like there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, take a quick icon picture or do the FaceTime, and we got a crappy camera that does VGA quality that no one likes. Like, what are you doing? Like, how hard would it be to put at least a freaking the iPad 3G had a 720p camera in it. Put in a small camera that's a little bit better. What are you waiting for?
We don't know. Maybe the iPad 3S.
No,
I don't know.
Guaranteed this is 2S, and there's a 3 coming out that's going to be amazing.
You hope. This really are a hoper.
Well, this is how they get more sales, right? Like
I could see them doing the wholesale thing, like we'll do an iPad 2S, just a little bit better, and then we'll blow away with the iPad 3. Well, unfortunately, now they did it with the iPhone 4S, where that was everyone's like, it's just an iPhone 4. So now, with the 4S, from what I've heard, Steve Jobs had nothing to do with, and you can tell, because it was crap. So apparently the iPhone 5 is Steve Jobs' last phone, and that should be the one that'd be like, oh, it's magical.
So I've got a little prediction at the end of the show, but let's go on with this. This data on the phone will be LTE, which is what people were waiting for. But again, have you seen an iPad 2 out in the blue, like out in the vast wild, like on the bus or out with your colleagues or anything like that, like friends bringing it out with you? No. Let's go to Denny's. Let's bring my iPad. No. Let's go to Wonderland. Oh, why do you have the iPad with you all everywhere? No.
Well, no. If you take the iPad with you to Denny's, it doubles as a tray, so you can put your food on top.
That sounds like Walmart and the little McDonald's there.
But I don't need a tray. I have an iPad. I'm good.
What else? Bluetooth is up to 4.0,
which is good. I mean,
it's a little thicker. You won't notice.
Nah.
No. The battery life is better, but it's the same range as the old one.
How can you say it's better?
Well, because it's doing more.
It's the same.
It's doing more, so they had to put a better battery in there.
It's better, but it does the same amount of time.
Okay, it's a battery with more capacity, but it does the same amount of use.
Fair enough. I can go with that. 10
hours, 9 hours on 4G LTE.
Yes, the world-ready radio bands, yes.
Yeah, except here in Kingston, Ontario, no LTE, so I don't care.
I have no LTE in Quakertown, and I live 35 minutes away from Philadelphia and a half an hour away from Allentown. I get nothing.
As soon, now that they have the iPad out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're going to roll them out.
And once the iPhone 5 comes out with LTE.
Everyone's going to have 4G on their back.
Yeah. So
fantastic.
Surprise, surprise, that's all that was announced. I forgot to press the timer button. But
that was perfect timing, though.
But surprise, nothing else. Yeah, it was great timing. Like nothing else.
That was all that announced. Bail out, leave the event.
Like we were hoping. Oh, I was hoping for the ITV. I was hoping for a 7-inch iPad. I got totally
posed.
Yeah.
See, I could be Canadian.
So my big prediction for the future is that in November, when they announced the iPhone 5,
Okay.
They will announce the iPad 3. They will announce the iTV. I think that's it. Maybe some notebooks too. They will do a huge launch. A huge.
You have high hopes.
No, this makes sense because you have the 4S that just came out. Mm-hmm. You have the iPad 2S, which I'm going to continue to call it.
New iPad.
The 2S. You have that. And then you have the stupid dinky Apple TV that gets them an extension towards the iTV. Get some sales in there a little bit, and there you go. Like, this all shows a build-up towards a huge thing coming.
I can see that happening because the end of October is the end of the fiscal year. So when you start November, that's a new fiscal year. If you dump all this out, you're going to boost your numbers for the whole year, which is smart. But in the same aspect, I don't give Apple that much credit. I really don't.
I think they need it. I think after the death of Steve Jobs, and after this announcement being
and the 4S. Oh.
Yeah, the 4S. See, the surprising thing is the 4S. Even with me, I was excited. Okay, I thought there was going to be a lot less people trying to buy the 4S, but there was a lot more than expected. And then I think the same is going to happen with the iPad 2S. I think there's
new iPad.
I think the same thing is going to happen. I think we're going to see a lot of sales for this thing, even though at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
No,
like it mattered. It mattered for the 4S. It mattered because you had this out and about everywhere you went. So those little upgrades mattered. Oh, I forgot to mention, iPad 2S also has Siri.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
There's no Siri. There is voice dictation. No Siri.
That is fucked up.
It's not Siri. I know. Everyone's like, oh, it's gonna have Siri, and they're like, no, it just has voice dictation.
Wow. Well then.
You look flabbergasted. You're like, oh crap.
In any case, I'm not getting it.
No.
And I
because you already have it.
I have to decide if I'm going to go to Android or not. I don't know. We'll keep that. We'll keep that for another show, Kyle. Maybe we'll do an iOS versus Android show, and
because you have iOS and I have Android,
and we'll discuss it. We'll just have a general discussion, and it'll be like the tug of war, seeing if you can pull Phil over to the dark side.
It's not the dark side; it's the green side. We have little green guys, and I don't know how you wouldn't like it. We name all of our operating systems after desserts. It's fantastic.
What are you trying to say, Kyle? You trying to say I like desserts?
I didn't say anything.
All right, so
I played the fifth.
So in the end, tell me what your review of the show is. Like, just a conclusion. What do you have to say?
Well, for the Apple event, I think it was a huge disappointment. Again with the 4S, like I talked about in the last show, the vibe of the show seems to go away. It doesn't seem to have that nice flowy feel. Like Steve Jobs seems very cool and everything's hip and groovy, and the new guy Tim Cook just bores you. He really does. Like, he doesn't seem to have that salesmanship like Steve Jobs had. Steve Jobs could sell you the pencil in your pocket, or this guy just kind of goes, we have this pencil, it's the same as the pencil you already have, but we have a new tip to it. Different pencil altogether. So I was disappointed with the iPad event. It was miserable. Not enough things to upgrade. Not enough things to turn the people that were on the fence thinking, all right, I know a lot of people have an iPad 2. They got the new one coming out. I'll wait, see what it looks like. And when you're at the end of the day and you see it's an iPad 2 with just a better phone, a better resolution, it's like that's not enough for me to put down almost $500.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna be surprised. I think we're gonna see a lot of sales from it because it's gonna happen no matter what. I think we're gonna see more sales than we think is gonna happen. I don't think there's a lot of people out there. Okay, just like a friend of mine came up to me yesterday while at work.
You have friends?
I do have some friends.
Lucky.
Yeah. Anyway, came up to me and said, "Oh, the new iPad! Like, I'm so excited. I didn't have an iPad before, and I've been waiting for the next upgrade so that I could get the new a new iPad." So I'm like, "Yeah, it's not that different from the iPad 2." But she goes, "Oh, Retina display and all this stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, but iPad 2, like, you get one for $400."
$399, yeah. That's amazing.
But I do understand it, though. If you don't have an iPad 2, why not?
Well, I mean, if you don't even have an iPad 2, now you can find them even cheaper. I mean, there's places that you can buy and sell your iPad. So if you get an iPad 2 on the cheap, then it gets your foot in the door of learning how the Apple iPads work. So if you want to upgrade in the future, yeah, it's great. I mean,
my brother-in-law just got an iPod Touch, like the first gen. It was on sale at an outlet store here, and he loves the thing. He just got into iOS now, and he loves it. So yeah, you can get these things real cheap, especially if you go to like stuff like Kijiji or
we have Best Buys,
Craigslist. We have Best Buy.
Yeah. People go to Craigslist to buy electronics.
If you want a brick in a box. All right, so that's the end of the show. Thank you for being here.
We didn't even talk about the apps, man. What about the apps?
All right, let's go long. People are like, "Oh, okay, as long as there's no audio issues."
Yeah.
So, okay, well, no, apps, go on.
I will say that they really stepped up, especially with the iPhoto.
I haven't tried it yet.
Neither have I. I don't have an iPad. But from what I saw,
okay.
You know, the fact that you can zoom in and it's not going to affect the quality of the rest of the photo, which seems really nice. Like, you can really get into details. You can really do everything. I think Apple started looking at Adobe's, you know, squelching in on their territory with photo editing, and they're like, we got to step up our game, because Adobe's Photoshop software is available for the iPad.
Yeah, they just released it.
Yep. I don't think I've posted. I probably posted that one on my site. That's thetechnofiles.com. And it really seems like they see some of the things that are out there, and they go, okay, we have to compete with that. Like, you have the video editing software. I've never really seen anyone edit a video on an iPad. I don't know how well it does.
Well, it's like doing it on a 4S or a 4. Like, it's pretty. It's okay. It's good for the general public. It's a pretty good software for general public. But for me, who's used to doing editing, it's limited. And I'm hoping that they upgraded that. Like, they did bring out an upgrade for the video editor. Yeah. But I haven't played with that either. Maybe we'll do a follow-up show talking about those, because I can get them, no problem. But
I'll spend my money.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither.
What else? What else?
I think, well, again, what they pretty much did was they made all the apps and then just put an HD behind it. Like, look, it's the same app as before, but now it's HD.
Yeah, they also did some more interface things and made it easier to, like, they did some upgrades to the programs, or else they wouldn't be able to get away with that too much.
Really? Because they've been doing it with the iPhone 4 and the iPad 2. They just did it again to you guys. Same stuff, new packaging. It's the same stuff.
But you know that sells. At the end of the day, it sells. If it gives you better graphics on the screen, it sells. And if you already have those programs, it makes the person happy to see better graphics. Like, if I get an app on my iPhone and then it doesn't have the universal app thing where you can play it on the iPad and its native resolution, people are pissed. But when you get a universal app, or when it upgrades to a universal app, and then you can go and play it on your iPad with no problems and it looking nice, that makes a person happy, and it really makes a person happy.
Well, you know, like I said, they do tend to, you know, take care of their apps, because that's their main bread and butter is the apps. Everybody buys apps. You know, 25 billion apps downloaded, or songs and videos and various other things. Like 25 billion things have been downloaded. They make money, and they know where their bread is buttered.
Yeah, and over 500,000 apps, period.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, Android doesn't have that many, and I think they have over 200,000. But even though their apps are very limited in what they can do, like, you can't do a lot of real good photo editing. It's just not capable. Like where the iPad succeeds, Android doesn't just yet. It hasn't really gotten a tablet to really kind of do those things. So again, I mean, the graphics on it, the games that I saw demoed look fantastic. They just look beautiful in the HD display. And the Retina display really kicks off when it goes to the games and various other things. But again, for me, it's just not enough to buy an iPad just to get the Retina display when I can wait for the next upgrade when that'll already have the Retina display and the same camera and probably a whole different design.
Probably go FaceTime HD and everything like that.
Yeah, it's like they'll see what doesn't do well, like the people complain with this one, and then try to fix those problems. That's what they did with the iPad, the new iPad. They saw all the things that people hate about the iPad too. The bad camera, the Retina display is not there, and then said, okay, we'll just throw something out there to please the hound dogs. Give you the Retina display, give you the better camera, still give you the crappy front-facing camera.
So we can upgrade it later.
Yeah, so you can look at it later and go, look, we changed everything. It's a new camera. A new iPad. So for me,
November.
I was disappointed. Write it down, folks.
I'm saying it now. November, iPad, or newer iPad.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Is it now the new iPad? Now the next one comes out. This is the newer iPad.
The rumor going around was that they were going to get rid of numbers altogether and just call them iPad, iPhone, iTV, Apple TV, and just leave it at that, and just be like, well, this is the new one. It's a version number from now on. And if you want to go into a Best Buy or anything like that, you just say, oh, I want an iPad. You obviously want the newer one. You don't want the old one, because at retail stores, they sell the newest one that has come out, and they don't sell the other ones. They get rid of their stock.
Basically, Apple is going to do away with the number system, and they're going to go to the Madden system. Now it's the iPhone 2012.
No, more likely that it's going to be like iPhone HD, iPhone camera. Like, I don't like a subtitle. I don't know. I honestly think it's going to be true. They're trying to just say, oh, here's the new iPhone, and it's always going to be the new iPhone, the new iPad, because new will say that they want the latest version.
But the problem with that is if you have an older retail clerk and you go, I want the new iPad, and there's 3-4 versions of the new iPad behind you, he's not going to know which one you want. I mean, the number system works when you have like a new system like the iPad 2, the iPad 3. There it is on the box. I can find that box. If you have 3 new iPads lined up, which one's the newer one if they don't differentiate them? It's going to cause confusion.
I agree, but I don't think they care. I think at the end of the day, all those main retail places are only going to have stock of the newest iPad, or the newest iPhone.
If that's the case, then there's going to be a lot of used iPhones and iPads that are going to be cheap.
And confusing. So, you're going to be like talking to some guy on Kijiji or whatever, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I wanted the iPhone 4. Which one? I want the new iPhone, but not the newest iPhone.
Yeah. I got the newest one, but not the new one. The 4th generation newest new one. That's the one I have.
Exactly. It's just silly, but yeah, write it down. November, big reveal. All the systems are going to be interconnected. You're going to see FaceTime on all of them in HD. It's going to be a huge branding. It's going to be a rebranding. I think they're going to go with that whole no number system, because they're allowed. They got the market share. They can do whatever.
They're allowed. Apple can do whatever they want.
Exactly.
The Mayans predicted 2 things: the end of the world. And Apple can do whatever they want. They don't care.
They could just come out and say tablet.
And people go, oh, it's a tablet!
There's only Apple tablets. There's no such other thing.
What are these? Those aren't tablets. Those are slates. This is the only true tablet.
And the only other thing I do want to note to everyone is that I think that Samsung should start doing their own press events like Apple does, because Samsung's getting up there with all their tablets and phones. They're becoming the biggest competition for Apple now. It's not BlackBerry anymore. BlackBerry's going down into the trash can. Some people don't understand that. Get out of BlackBerry as soon as you can, because it's going away.
It's like HP. Get out.
At Windows 7 phones, that's about to go. Like, Microsoft is holding on tight, but it's not going to go anywhere. What you have is Android versus iOS, and the big Android phone is Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung. Well, HTC is a close second. HTC comes out with some good phones, but Samsung is the really big dog. I mean, the Samsung Galaxy S2, when that came out, that was the iPhone killer. Like, I love that phone. And then the Galaxy Note came out. Oh, love the Note.
I saw your review, by the way. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks. And the Note 10.1, I want to get because, like with the Apple, with the new iPad, you can do you can doodle and fix everything on your photos, but you have to do it with a finger. Whereas the Note, you have the S Pen stylus, where you can touch. It's very touch sensitive. Apparently, you just get in there.
It's iffy.
For me. It is iffy. I mean, you have to write a little bit bigger than you normally would. It's not as precise, but I think with a bigger screen, with more pixels, you may be able to get more precise digital editing on your photos.
And they're getting better with it. Like, that's the thing. Like, when that pen becomes 1-to-1 and you don't have that lag, that issue of it not knowing what you're saying, then it'll be a game changer to an extent.
You know, again, it's Apple versus Samsung at this point, because Samsung seems to be the only one that's really making quality tablets to rival the iPad. I mean, Toshiba's Thrive tablet I haven't played with, but everyone seems to enjoy it. The Sony Tablet S, which you can look for on my website, thetechnofiles.com. You can check out that video review. I did that one. That one it's unique. It's not a flat tablet. It's a wedge. So when you lay it on a table, it lifts up a little bit, so the glare's kicked off. So cool. They have little things that is a unique little thing to it, but it doesn't really make you go, I have to have this tablet. It's like the same with the iPad. Nothing says that thing says I need to have it. Nothing tells me I need to carry this big, dumb, bricky looking thing everywhere I go underneath my armpit or in a briefcase to make me say I need it. It just doesn't have that functionality that I need that I have with my laptop.
Yeah. Any chance you're going to get the Samsung 7-inch? Is it a Galaxy Note 7-inch? No, it's
the Galaxy Tab 7.0 Plus.
Yeah, the newest one.
You can check that out on my website, The Technofiles. I did review it. I also did a YouTube video, which is on the YouTube channel, The Technofiles.
And that was the one just announced at the show.
They did the Galaxy Tab Note 10.1 and there's a Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah, there's a 7.0 that
Wi-Fi S, but the Galaxy Tab 7.0 Plus that was announced shortly after the 10.1 was announced. I played with that one. It's on my website.
All right, cool. So what other things do you have to plug? Because we're getting out of here.
Again, it's my website, thetechnofiles.com, with my Twitter handles. My YouTube channel. You can watch my videos.
Subscribe.
Like me on Facebook. Yep, subscribe. Like me on Facebook. Because also on my Facebook page, on the Technofiles, I run contests. And then you just follow me on Twitter.
And one day we will too, but we need people to send us shit. That's what it comes down to. Like, we have nothing to give away. So one day we'll start reviewing stuff like Kyle does. Kyle does a lot of reviewing, he gets a lot of product, and he's got a lot of product to review. He's taking great time out of his day to do this show. And
not a great time, it's just a small amount of time, really.
And
to do a great show. Small amount of time for a great show.
So thank you. And I've been talking to Kyle about advice on how to get some products, so we're going to work on that. And that's it. Check out AllForGeek.com. You can
AllForGeek, yo!
You can now go there, even if you're not a Facebook person.
Screw Facebook.
Yeah.
Just go to AllForGeek, yo!
Don't screw Facebook. It's okay. You can still like the page there too.
That was my bad Tracy Morgan impression if you didn't catch it. We're all about to get pregnant.
And Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, we're all on there.
Everything. Do it. AllForGeek. Geek it up. Are you doing the weird? You're welcome. Why do you do the weird, creepy stare?
I think the ladies love it.
You need an update. I don't know. I don't know how many chicks are like, oh, look at Phil stare at me. He's looking lovingly into my soul. How your wife deals with you when you sleep when you do that She just rolls over and goes, "That's the man I married. That's the guy who's just."
And she has to deal with me for the rest of my life. Or yeah, my life, not hers. Cause she'll probably kill me first.
There's a pillow with your name on it, my friend. With that look you just gave me, that's the last thing she saw before she kissed you. That frightens the crap out of me.
All right. Well, thanks for coming,
Well,
Kyle.
no, hang on. I'm challenging the rest of your host. Do a better job than me, I dare you. Even the chick, I don't know what her name is. I challenge her.
Her name is Jessie.
Jesse, I challenge you in your low-cut shirt. I'll do low-cut shirts all day. I got boobs. I can put up boobs. I got boobs. I challenge them all. Do a ratings bump like me and stare lovingly into Phil's eyes as I do.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
We ended volatile, yo. We about to get pregnant up in Ontario.